What, this is like the Elizabeth Warren, like, Nightline show? Like, yeah.
What's up, everybody? My name is Maya Rupert. Congressman Raskin, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Maya. It's great to be here.
Well, let's jump right in. I think first things first, you just made the decision to endorse Senator Warren. So first of all, welcome to Team Warren.
Thank you much. My heart has been with Elizabeth Warren for a long time, and different things played into it. I feel like she's always been on the side of the vast majority of the American people in a really powerful way.
We're having the conversation at an interesting moment because, we're starting the trial in the Senate, and you mentioned you served on the House Judiciary Committee, and that's the body that actually drafted the articles of impeachment. I wonder if you can talk a little bit about that, what that process was like.
We've sworn an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and we've got to do that.
Right.
And with Donald Trump, the guy is a one-man crime wave. What they did in Ukraine, and they're trying to get away with now, is emblematic of the way that they have corrupted the entire domestic and foreign policy of the United States.
Right.
He invited a foreign power into our 2016 election. He invited and dragooned a foreign power into our 2020 election, trying to get the president of Ukraine to come and sabotage the Joe Biden campaign. This is precisely what the framers of the Constitution didn't want. It's what they warned us about. It's why we've got the impeachment power. The test is of the Republican Senate. Are they going to let him get away with cheating, lying, and stealing, and violating the Constitution of the United States in a way he's gotten away with everything else? He is also emblematic of a totally rotten and corrupted campaign finance system. Elizabeth Warren is willing to blow the whistle on it and say we need thoroughgoing top-to-bottom reform of the way our markets are working, the way our politics are working.
Right. And, some of the commitments that she's made that we've seen already, that she's not willing to, do the closed-door fundraisers and sell access to her time, that she has committed that, ambassadorships will not be sold off to the highest bidder. You're a well-known constitutional scholar. Clearly, you've studied this, and that very clearly informs the way you're thinking about it and talking about it. I wonder for folks that are watching and, don't have as much historical familiarity, what do you feel like is missing right now from the commentary when people are talking about this, for folks that, are a little bit newer to this and just trying to wrap their head around what is happening and what it means for their families?
That's a good question. We don't have kings in America, and Donald Trump basically has made himself a monarch. Our Constitution begins with those three beautiful words, we the people. We overthrew the kings. But then it's important to go on in the Constitution. The president's job is just to take care that the laws are faithfully executed. That's the president's job, not to thwart the laws, not to circumvent the laws, not to nullify and negate the laws, but to make sure they're executed. If you're not going to do that, then it's time for you to be evicted, ejected, rejected, impeached, removed, convicted, and we'll start over again. We don't need you. You are a clear and present danger to the people of the United States in our form of government, which is representative democracy under the Constitution and under the rule of law.
What do you think the challenges are that are going to be facing the Senate? And what do you, if you could just do some sort of predictions, what do you think kind of comes out of this process?
Well, it's a scandalous situation. Americans know what a trial is. A trial has witnesses, a trial has evidence. But you got the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Lindsey Graham, saying, I'm not interested in the evidence, I'm not interested in the facts.
Right.
But that's what a trial is.
What's left of a trial.
They're not interested in the law, they're not interested in the evidence, they're not interested in the facts.
What you're kind of laying out is a very real fear that people are not going to have faith in this process. And if people don't have faith in the process, they're not going to have faith in the outcome. What are the stakes here? Is that what we're talking about?
Well, I want people to have faith in the political leaders that they see standing up for the Constitution and the rule of law, and I want people to have faith in themselves. Ultimately, this is a democracy. There are two ways to get rid of a corrupt president in the United States, and one is if they're committing high crimes and misdemeanors against the people through impeachment and conviction and removal. The other way you remove a corrupt president is through the Electoral College. I'm going to be out campaigning my heart out for whoever is the Democratic nominee, whether it's Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden or Bernie Sanders or Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar, whoever it is. I'm going to be giving everything I've got for us to restore democracy to our national government. When Tocqueville wrote democracy in America, he said that democracy is always either shrinking and contracting. That's the kind of period we're in right now, or it's expanding and growing. And we've got to get back into the growing phase of democracy, making American democracy work for everybody.
Right. So these are all big things, and it makes sense you're with Elizabeth, because big structural change is what she's fighting for.
I mean, it's only big change that will allow us to address big problems. And so I'm totally with Elizabeth Warren. We've got to be visionary about the situation now to turn it around. Right. I think that's Elizabeth Warren. It's a very tall order, but I think she's up to it. I think that, from the beginning of this crisis, I have quoted Tom Paine, who said, "The times have found us." And I think the times have found Elizabeth Warren to be our leader. And that's why I want to go out and fight for her. She's a very important voice at this moment.
Listening to you, I feel it's a very similar feeling I get when I'm listening to Elizabeth. I feel like I'm back in law school in the best possible way.
Well, all of America needs to get back to our Constitution and hold it close to your heart and teach it to your children. And don't let anybody trample or destroy our Constitution of any political party at all.
I'm so thrilled you're on this team, and that we're going to be fighting together.
Thank you, Maya, and I really look forward to working with you in Iowa, New Hampshire, wherever you guys send me.
Absolutely. That sounds great.